What's up, everyone? Welcome back to King Anime Review, and for this video, I'll be reviewing episode 229 of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, titled Breach of Orders. So the episode was continuing off where we left off from last week, which was the mission, the bodyguard mission, the C-rank bodyguard mission that Kawaki, Chocho, and Shukadai were on. This is Kawaki's final mission to see if he can become a shinobi. And they're guarding this kid named Mozoku. And Mozoku has a package that he's delivering to his village. And basically, I think they said it was a vase, but inside the vase it has some medicine in there, a cure to cure a epidemic, a disease that's going around in his village. And this was a really great episode. So yeah, so that's pretty much the story of the episode. And yeah, so it started off with a kid dying. A kid, he was being tortured to death to get information from him. It was these two shinobi who were hired by the feudal lord of the land where Mozoku is from and the land he's returning to with this medicine. The feudal lord hired two shinobi to basically track down a bunch of kids and kill these kids. And the reason why he's doing that is because these kids, their sensei actually developed a cure for the disease in their village, and the feudal lord, their sensei had already developed a cure for the feudal lord, but the feudal lord was trying to monopolize off of it, make money off of it. And then the sensei of Mozoku, he didn't like the way the feudal lord was doing things, making money off of the cure. And because of the way he was doing things, the poorer people of the village weren't able to get access to the cure. So Mozoku's sensei, he sent his students on a mission after he had developed a new cure, a better cure. He sent them on missions to basically get the stuff for the cure or whatever, while he went into hiding. And Mozoku, he was the last one out of the students who actually had the cure, and he was returning to his village with the cure. The rest of his comrades had been killed by these other two ninja who were hired by the feudal lord, who was trying to monopolize off the money, and he didn't want a new cure to enter the village because he didn't want more people to get access to the cure, because then the amount of people affected by the cure would go down, and he wouldn't be making as much money off of it. So yeah, that's what happened with that. So at the start of the episode, it was those two guys, they tortured one of the kids to death in order to get some information about him, some information out of him. And they found out that Mozoku went to the land of fire in the Hidden Leaf Village, and they decided to go there. And that was the last person who had the cure, and the rest of the kids had died. So yeah, so that's how the episode started off. And then we had, Kawaki and the rest of them that were on the mission. And at first, Mozoku was like, Kawaki, you don't seem that motivated. First, you showed up late, and you still don't seem that motivated. And yeah, so they were talking about that a little bit. And Naruto and Shikamaru were talking about Kawaki on the mission. And Shikamaru said that, Shinobi has orders that they have to, Kawaki got to become accustomed to orders. And Shinobi has orders that they got to follow. And if Kawaki can become accustomed to those to orders, following orders, then that would determine if he can be a shinobi or not. And Naruto said he thinks Kawaki can complete the mission. He thinks Kawaki can do it. And then Konohamaru came in with a report about the kids who were going missing and the kids who were dying in the surrounding lands and the surrounding nations. And yeah, that was the case with that. And also, those two shinobi, they ran past Boruto, Sarada, and Mitsuki while they were off on another mission, a D-rank mission. And they ran past them, and they pretty much just ignored them because they were focused on the kid, trying to get the medicine from that kid. And it seems like Boruto is going to decide to go and try to figure out what's going on with them. But Team 7 is on a D-rank mission right now, so I don't know. It does seem like Boruto and Sarada and Mitsuki are gonna. Actually, I think from from one of the summaries, it said they're gonna try to come Boruto and Sarada. So I think Mitsuki is probably gonna complete the D rank mission by himself. But yeah, so that's what happened with that. And then Kawaki and the others, they took a short break to eat some food. Kawaki didn't bring any food himself because he overslept, so he woke up late, so he didn't bring any food himself. But Chocho gave him some food, and Kawaki gave Mozoku some food as well. And Mozoku said the food was good, and he's not used to eating good food like that or something like that. And it's because he's from a poor village or whatever. And he thought that Kawaki was more privileged because he thought that Kawaki was also from the Hidden Leaf Village. But Kawaki said he's not from the Hidden Leaf Village, so it's not like he doesn't understand what it's like when Mozoku was talking about being from like a poor village or whatever. So that's what happened with that. And then after they took that short break, they continued to head to Mozoku's village. And then they were attacked by those two shinobi. And those two shinobi, basically one of them, it was very, very foggy. And Kawaki and the others didn't know that Mozoku was being targeted because Mozoku, basically, when he requested to have shinobi guard him, he didn't give the details. He basically didn't inform the Hidden Leaf Village that he was being targeted by shinobi, because if he done that, he would have had to pay more money, and he didn't have enough money to pay for a higher ranked mission. So right now, it was supposed to be a C ranked mission, but it's obviously a ranked mission, or it's obviously a top tier mission because he's being targeted by shinobi. It's very similar to how Tazuna was in the Land of Waves arc, where he basically he didn't want to pay as much money as he should have been paying because he basically lied to the Hidden Leaf Village. He didn't tell them that he was being he didn't tell them that he was being targeted by shinobi, and thus even though Team 7 from Part 1, they got sent on a C ranked mission originally. It basically ended up being an A ranked mission, because anytime that there's someone being targeted by shinobi, that's a higher ranked mission, as opposed to just a normal bodyguard mission where the person is not really being targeted. So that was the case with that. And so they got attacked. It was very, very foggy. And one of the guys took the medicine from the kid, and then he ran away. And then the other guy trapped Chocho, Shukadai, and Kawaki and Mozoku in a blood barrier, a blood web barrier. And yeah, so that was the case with that. And Mozoku, he tried to run and get his package, and he ended up running into one of those webs. And the thing about those webs is whoever touches it, if they touch those webs, they end up being under the control of the caster of the jutsu, because once somebody touches his blood, he gets control of them. Or at least from that, once somebody touched the webs, he gets control of them. That blood web jutsu that he was doing. And so Shukadai knocked out the kid, and then Kawaki, Shukadai also stopped Kawaki from cutting those webs as well, because that was before Kawaki seen what happened to Mozoku. So that was the case with that. And then Kawaki, he shot a scientific ninja tool blast at the guy. He used his scientific ninja, his body modifications, and he shot a blast he didn't shoot it at the guy, but he shot it at the guy's webs. And then they found out that the webs actually regenerate, but it doesn't regenerate super fast, but it still regenerates. So yeah, and so I was thinking, so first of all, Kawaki should have been able to one-shot that guy. It didn't seem like he actually aimed the blast at the guy. But the reason for that, I'm not going to criticize that really, because the reason for that is because of how Kawaki's character is. And if you've noticed throughout the series, Kawaki he's not a killer really. And it all goes back to his past and how he was treated in the past. He doesn't, he's really a guy, he would kill somebody out of self-defense, like Garo, for example. He killed Garo, but that was out of self-defense. That's only because Garo was attacking him. But usually he doesn't really try to kill people unless he have to. Even at the end of this episode, or towards the end of this episode, he knocked that guy out who was doing the blood jutsu. He just knocked him out instead of actually trying to kill him. So obviously Kawaki doesn't really fight people with killer intent at all. Not unless, not unless it's somebody like Ishiki who's, threatening the entire world, or if it's somebody who is, attacking him. So he will defend himself. Obviously, he fights out of self defense, to defend himself basically. Other than that, he doesn't really try to kill anybody. So he shot the blast at the webs. He didn't really shoot it at the guy. So that could be why, maybe he was just trying to figure out what that guy's jutsu was. That's what I'm thinking. But Kawaki should have been able to one-shot that guy easily, but he wasn't aiming his blast at the guy. So that was the case with that. Shukadai told Chocho, basically, because he figured, he's seen that it takes a little bit of time for the webs to regenerate. So Chocho used her rolling, her, human boulder jutsu, and she basically destroyed all of the webs. But then she was being controlled by the caster because, that's how the jutsu works. But Shukadai used the shadow possession jutsu to basically have Chocho knock out the guy or knock back the guy because, she was being controlled and the guy was trying to make Chocho fight Shukadai and Kawaki. But Shukadai used his, his shadow possession jutsu to have Chocho hit the guy. So then after that, they started to fight off the guy a little bit. He was using a bunch of like blood needles, or it seemed like a bunch of blood needles. And they started to fight him a little bit. And yeah, so eventually Chocho ended up getting hurt while she was defending Mozoku. And Shikamaru managed to basically use his shadow possession jutsu to stop the guy. And Kawaki knocked the guy out after that. So, yeah, that's what happened with that. They ended up defeating one of those two shinobi. And then after that, that's when Mozoku, it was revealed that he was a medical ninja. So he tried to heal Chocho, but her wounds were too serious for him to fully heal her. So Shikamaru decided that they were going to have to go back to the Hidden Leaf Village because Chocho is unable to move and she's too injured to, basically continue the mission. So Shukadai decided that they should go back to the Hidden Leaf Village. And Kawaki basically disagreed. He decided, he said that Shukadai and Chocho should go back to the Hidden Leaf Village while he and Mozoku goes to get the medicine. Because it seems like he sympathized with Mozoku's story and he wasn't going to ignore what Mozoku was trying to do. And yeah, so Mozoku revealed everything to them during that time. During that period, he revealed everything to him about the mission and all that he was sent on. And Kawaki decided to go get the medicine for Mozoku and continue the mission. And he told Shukadai and Chocho to head back to the Hidden Leaf Village. Yeah, so, and basically Kawaki defied the orders. That's why the episode is called Breach of Orders, because Kawaki breached the orders. Shikamaru originally told Kawaki, hey, we're going to have to go back to the Hidden Leaf Village. Kawaki said, I'm going to do things my way. I don't care about your orders, pretty much. And Shukadai tried to use his shadow possession jutsu on Kawaki, but Kawaki said, hey, I'm not going to let you do that again. And he put his little body modification scythe by Shukadai's face, and he was like, hey, I'm not going to let you catch me with that shadow possession jutsu. And then Shukadai, my bad. I keep on accidentally saying Shikamaru. Shukadai and basically got Chocho and he went back to the Hidden Leaf Village while Kawaki went back with Mozoku to try to go after that other guy who took Mozoku's medicine. And yeah, that's what happened in the episode. It was a very, very, very great, well-written episode. I just loved everything about this episode, honestly. Everything. This episode was a very, very great 10 out of 10 episode. It did reveal, Kawaki, like I said earlier on. Actually, I don't know if I said this, but Kawaki, when he was talking to Mozoku about, him not being from the Hidden Leaf Village, Mozoku asked him, why do you want to become a shinobi? And Kawaki said, it's because the person I look up to is a shinobi. But Kawaki, even though he wants to become a shinobi, he isn't willing to ignore the suffering of other people. He's seeing how important Mozoku's mission was to him. So he decided to ignore Shukadai's orders, even though it put his, desire of becoming a ninja in jeopardy. He decided to ignore Shukadai's orders in order to go get the medicine for Mozoku because he really sympathized with Mozoku's story. But he does really want to become a ninja. But at the same time, he prioritized what Mozoku was going through because he sympathized with Mozoku's story. Kawaki is just a very, very well-written, fantastic character. And this episode did a great job with Kawaki. And this episode was fantastic overall. I like seeing Kawaki on a mission with Shugadai and Chocho. That was very cool. Also, when they were fighting that guy with the blood webs, Kawaki was like, he asked Chocho, why would she do something like that? Why would she do the superhuman boulder jutsu, the human boulder jutsu, and, you know, basically get rid of all them webs, even though she knew that it would cause her to be controlled? And Chocho told Kawaki, she said, it's because I put my life in the hands of Shugadai. Basically, she trusts Shugadai with her life. And, you know, and then the message overall that Kawaki got was, you can't do things by yourself. You gotta trust your comrades pretty much, and put your, you know, trust your friends and believe in your friends pretty much. And that's what Shugadai and Chocho was telling Kawaki. And yeah, overall, this was a fantastic episode. I really enjoyed this episode. It was way better than last week's episode. Last week's episode, I think I gave it a 9.5 or something like that. I'm probably gonna, I think that episode was closer to like probably an 8 out of 10 last week, because they did nerf Metal Lee in that episode. And plus, I think I already reviewed the episode. You can go back and watch my review. But I think I had one other problem other than the fact that they nerfed Metal Lee. But overall, and plus Kawaki did complete that mission with, I don't get why, well, yeah, I guess you could say maybe that mission he was on with Tsubaki, I guess he scared the kid. So I guess I don't know if you call that, because basically the kid passed out. I don't know if you would consider that mental harm or whatever, but he was supposed to basically stop that kid from running away without harming him. He didn't technically physically harm him, so I think he completed the mission with Tsubaki and Wasabi's team. But I guess since the kid was knocked out, he was knocked unconscious, or I mean, he was scared. He was so scared that he passed out. I guess that qualifies as as mental harm or whatever. I don't know why he didn't pass that mission or whatever. But yeah, overall, this episode was way better than last week's. I really enjoyed it. And I'm really, really interested in what's going to happen in next week's episode. I have a little bit of an idea of what's going to happen next week based off of some of the synopsises that I've seen. But I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I think Kawaki is going to become... basically at the end of the episode, or either at the end of next week's episode or the episode after that, Kawaki will be promoted to being a shinobi, I think. I think that's the case based off of my previous video that I just posted. I already talked about Kawaki joining Team 7. So you can go watch that video if you want to know why I think, you know, Kawaki will be becoming a ninja. So obviously he's going to do something on this mission that's going to get him promoted to being a ninja. But other than that, I just really like the story of this episode. I like, you know, Mozuku's story, and I like how Kawaki was sympathizing with him and all that, and how Kawaki's character was written in this episode. Overall, this was a fantastic episode of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. 10 out of 10 in terms of story, 10 out of 10 in terms of art, and 10 out of 10 in terms of animation. Another fantastic episode of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, a 10 out of 10 episode. I really enjoyed this week's episode of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, and I can't wait until next week's episode. And with that being said, yeah, if you guys liked the video, please drop a like. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and clicking that channel notification bell to be notified on all of my future videos. And drop me a comment and let me know what you thought of my review and of the episode in the comment section below. And share the video all over the internet. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.
Every promise I've been praying for.